start recording. So as always, this will be recorded. It is Thursday, July 2nd. Obviously, we got Independence Day coming up tomorrow, and then 4th of July kind of this weekend. So it's going to be slow end of the week for sure. I'll go ahead, share my screen. Here we go. So we got AU. Actually, got a little signal out right now on AU that I'm just going to update. So NFP just came out. We're going to go over NFP a little bit over here because made the market get a little bit crazy. We're just going to start off, though, as always, with DXY. And pretty much, let's take a look. DXY. So you guys that don't know about what DXY is, it's just the dollar index. We pretty much use this to determine the strength of the US dollar. Obviously, a lot of pairs that we're trading are quoted against the dollar. So this is pretty important to understand and to be breaking down. Just starting with some TA on the weekly time frame. We have been ascending, overall in the weekly for quite some time, all the way back since, February of 2018. So we've been ascending for 2 years or so. This is definitely a strong bullish trend. That being said, these are definitely higher lows that are forming, right here, pullbacks, retesting. And that's kind of where we find ourselves now. We're on this pullback. We're finding a lot of buyers back at this level, especially right here. Boom, especially right here. We're finding a ton of buyers out of this zone. So we are anticipating some sort of reversal, some sort of, bullish, sentiment. Right now, if we get down to the daily, we haven't exactly broken any sort of structure. If anything, we are potentially forming some structure right here. So on the daily, this really has become a key level for us. This bearish engulfing right there. Let me just check the chat. Boom. It's all good. Hell yeah. I mean, obviously these sessions are definitely beneficial. The purpose of them is just every single time, top-down analysis, get down to where structure is, look for entries, where do we maintain the orders, everything like that. So let's now get down to the 4-hour time frame, try to make sense of really what's going on DXY right now. Based on the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking at it like this. I look left, we came down, made this low, pulled back, made this lower high with this cross right here. And then we broke that lower high, boom, made this new high to the upside right there. We were pulling back, waiting for that first higher low. So now I'm not even looking at that back there. I'm more focused on this 4-hour time frame right here. This 4-hour time frame, what is the trend? Inevitably, this is what I'm focusing on now. This higher low. Now we were trying to make a new high. We actually failed, and we broke below this level right here. So we broke below this level right here. I would consider this break of structure on the 4-hour time frame. And guys, a little tip: whenever you break structure on any time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, bump up time frames. Bump up time frames. See what's going on in this higher time frame. Looking at this higher time frame again, we are obviously still bearish, still need to break this level, but at the same time, we pulled back into that highlighted zone, and look what happened. Grabbed a ton of buyers out of that zone, came back up. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't the most clear right now, to be completely honest, but on this daily time frame, we just know our overall sentiment. Weekly time frame, we are bullish. Daily time frame at the moment, we are bearish. 4-hour time frame at the moment, we are bearish. So every time frame below that inevitably, will be pretty bearish. This is obviously bearish and everything like that. So we need as low as the 1-hour time frame for this to start to reverse, for this to start to come back. At the moment, we really need this level to break. So this is in a downtrend. Yeah, Mohammed, if you're having audio issues, Zoom is tricky, but it's pretty much you. It's your computer. You have to set up the audio on the actual computer and Zoom to be the same source. So yeah, if you have any issues with that, you can just do a quick Google search. And once you figure it out, you're going to be able to get it. So DXY again at the moment is surging. Have a lot of bullish momentum at the moment, but overall we are still bearish on that. So with that in mind, let's bump over to USEF. This is a trade that I had been in, but I moved my stops because NFP, I was expecting there to be a lot of momentum, bullish momentum to the upside on this, which we just got, which is fine. So I'm just going to take that off. That trade is definitely closed. I'm just going to double check on my phone. Yeah, that trade's closed. Closed. And closed. So I was only up about like 0.5% on that trade. So I wasn't really trying to take profits or anything like that. I could have taken profit just before NFP if I wanted to sit on the sidelines, but at the same time, I was up, 30 pips or so, and we had some room. So I was like, fuck it. If this thing drops, then it's probably going to drop pretty far. So at the end of the day, it's risk reward. I took the risk. So on the weekly time frame, let's just start out here. Let's start out here and go. What are we looking at here? On the weekly, we had this break of support. Boom, right here, made this new low, pulled back, made this lower high right here. And how am I judging the lower lows and lower highs? How do I judge market structure? It's all momentum, guys. So momentum here was red over blue, where we broke this level, made a new low, then we pulled back. Momentum was bullish up until this happened. So right before this is structure, boom, we came down to this level, found a minor level of support, pulled back. No, momentum still was bearish. So this is not lower high. Momentum still bearish. Come down, made this low, pulled back, a little bit of a cross here. And then we have, this inevitably was the lower high that had formed all the way on the weekly, all the way on the weekly time frame. So let's continue lower, continue to judge this on the daily time frame. How does this now shake out and break down? All the way in the daily time frame, we have this low, this pullback. This is not a lower high. This basically was just momentum shifting. Blue is still over red until this happens right here. This becomes the lower high. And we have some consolidation where we bounce. We form another lower high. We get the cross right there. So then we're looking at this level. Then we cross again, and we get another lower high based on all this crossing right here. So what I'm getting at is, at the moment, we are bearish on daily time frame until this breaks. Until this level breaks, we are bearish. This will just be a momentum retracement, whatever. But as we can see, price is holding below this weekly level. This is why I took this short position. But we still need to break this down further and look at structure on the lower time frames and see what's up. So on the lower time frame, this is when we got to clear up our charts. We got to be very indecisive, not the lower, on the 4 hours. So the 4 hours is really where we're going to base structure right now. So we had this lower low form, moving averages crossed back, lower high, came to the bottom, crossed, momentum. All of a sudden we start to cross all over here. Inevitably, this is the lower high that forms. We make a new low, pull back, and then this happens. Pull back. If we had just been looking at this, I would have said, okay, this is our next lower high, like I had lined off. And then what happens? We break to the upside. So the 4 hour went bullish, which I was kind of waiting on to see really what happens here. Obviously, the trend changed at this point, and I was thinking, okay, we could potentially find some buyers, maybe go long, and then inevitably this happened. This fell through. So I was waiting to see if it finds support at all. And then we started to get this. So we started to get on this 30-minute time frame, a little bit of a break to the upside, and then no entry. So I would have entered on the pullback on this next higher low, and there was no entry here, as you can see. And then this thing actually broke 30-minute structure. Boom. So it continued to go lower. And then inevitably, I just shifted my bias as this thing came up. And then I believe my entry was like right around here. Let's take a look. USEF. Yeah, my entry was right around there. As this shifted, I entered right on like these variations. And then we went into some profits. You know, we entered literally like right here at 9.4 560. This was late. This was like I like literally woke up last night in the middle of the night and just took this 560. So we entered up here. We came into about 30 pips of profit. Our stops, I had put my stops up here because I wasn't sure how well this was going to be respected, this minor level. But if I did have my stops here, this would have been a 3-to-1 trade now that I look back on it. But I kind of wanted to protect myself with stops up here, about 30 pips or 40 pips. And that's why I didn't move my stops or I didn't take any profit. I was trying to just swing this into, continue this trend, this 30-minute trend. Now, where are potential re-entries on this? We can potentially get another re-entry here if we're just looking for this trend to continue. Say, something like this happens, we pull back, moving averages cross. As soon as they cross back over, that is when we will take the entry, put our stops above either that minor, that new level of structure, depending on how significant it is, or we can bump it, all the way up to the higher time frame, or not the higher time frame, or this like previous level structure. So USEF, I am not in a trade on anymore, so I'm going to change this back to orange, and I'm just waiting to see how this plays out. I'll update this in premium analysis for you guys. Let's bump over now to UCAD. So UCAD has been playing with people's emotions like crazy. It's people are very uncertain about what's going on with UCAD, and they've taken some longs very early. And the reason why I didn't take any longs, I'll go over in a second on this, but let's just start up on the weekly time frame as always. So the weekly time frame is bullish in the sense that we made this higher low here. And then we're getting a lot of rejection of this monthly resistance level right there. So that's something definitely to take note of, this monthly resistance level right there. As I go down time frames on this daily, I'm kind of like looking at this time frame like, okay, what is structure? Daily time frame structure is still very bearish. So I just pop over to the 4-hour and I'm like, what's structure on this time frame? And I notice that at this point we were in a downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we formed this lower high here, pulled back, formed this next lower high here, and we broke bullish to the upside. And basically this is still in that 4-hour bullish, trend. We need to wait though on UCAD before we enter. Like we need this lower time from this 30-minute to shift and to really be bullish. So to be honest, right now we are getting a better entry. So what I'm looking at is like lower time frame structure now. Like we had this lower high, boom, this was retested, then it broke. But this is just maintained. All this momentum is maintained. I wanted to confirm a higher low before I took any sort of trades on this. So that's what I'm talking about. Now we're pulling back. Now we're potentially making a higher low. If we get something similar to this, where price starts to break through and crosses on this 30-minute, then I will take a trade. I'll put my stops right below this level right there. And, I'll target up in this level first. And this is just going to be tricky because this monthly level is going to have a ton of volume no matter which way we shake it. So I'm going to probably risk a little bit less on this trade considering where we're at. But yeah, we're going to wait, probably another half hour or so on this. We're going to wait for the following candle to see whether we're going to exactly long this. Obviously, we're getting a lot of momentum now, which is really good. So we'll see where life takes us on UCAD. Let's go over to GU. So we've got GU, boom. On this weekly time frame, as always, guys, just top-down analysis, weekly time frame. We're looking for the trend. I'm not really worried about all the way back here. I'm kind of just focusing on right here. This is more than enough data for us. This is 2 years worth. You know, I'm looking at this low, cross, lower high, this low, cross, lower high, you know, cross back. Now we can just focus on this region. I'm looking at monthly key level right here, which was rejected. I'm trying to decipher what's going on with price action on our candlestick analysis on this weekly time frame. We had this candle, which is a reversal candle that formed. We talked about this on Sunday. Obviously now getting that reversal that we anticipated. Let's look at the daily time frame. So daily time frame, again, is pretty tricky. We have the lower low forms. We have this lower high forms right here with the cross, and then we break. So the daily actually breaks to be bullish. And again, every time a structure breaks, I bump up. And then I bump up to the weekly, and I'm like, okay, weekly is still bearish. So momentum inevitably could be, like the volume could be bearish on this. And that's why once we got to this level, I was more thinking short than long off that level. So now I'm looking at the 4 hour, and I'm just like, okay, what is 4 hour structure? 1 second. Cool. All right, so we are looking at the 4 hour, and until this 4 hour supply zone breaks right here, I am bearish. Until that breaks, guys, I am bearish. So if I want to anticipate some sort of move, I need to look at this 30-minute, and I'm not shorting now. I'm looking for a break. This would be a break of structure right here. As soon as that breaks, based on the style of this trade, based on where we are at, then I'll short. I can put stops, you know, above whatever level forms that lower high. And then the target is going to be all the way down here. The target's going to be down here, you know, on this 4 hour trend, this 38.2, you know, we'll be targeting down there. So this is a potential trade for sure coming up, GU, but I'm going to stick to the 30-minute time frame. You know, I'm gonna watch this over the next few hours. Again, it's kind of tricky late in the week this week. We are, you know, Independence Day, like I said, tomorrow, 4th of July, volume's gonna be shit, it's gonna be shot, so we're gonna have to be patient. Let's bump over to NU, and let's go all the way up to the weekly time frame. So we had been anticipating a bearish move, you know, on NU. We just looking at structure, basically we had this low, pulled back, made this lower high, then we had a little bit of a cross here, so we actually formed some sort of like higher low, then we broke to the downside, pulled back, you know, retested this lower high, and then made a new low, pulled back. Now we were anticipating another lower high to form, but look previously, you know, momentum obviously was very bullish on this, and you know, in this area, look how much consolidation and indecision kind of came before that lower high, which is possible. Like something like this could definitely happen. Boom. You know, consolidation all around this level before inevitably dumping. Can even get the last bit of this. Boom. So something like this inevitably could definitely happen. We just got to be aware. And again, every time something like this happens, guys, I will look at a zone. Like I'll highlight it, I'll go back, and I'll act like this is current price. I'll go down time frames, and I will start to break things down. So I'll go to the daily time frame, and I'm like, okay, when did this present entry opportunities for us? You know, all within this zone. When did we see bearish entry opportunities? And we could even start to look at, you know, up here with some structure on this. We had on this 4 hour trend, bullish, bearish right here, formed this higher low, came up, and then we actually could have taken some trades in this area. We had these crosses, which made this a higher low for me. Boom, like this. We could have entered based on the break if we were watching it very closely, or the next lower high that forms. Boom, boom, boom. And then inevitably, you know, what happened here, we could have said, okay, what is the next move? We could have looked at this area, very similar to GU right now. We could have anticipated this to be the next lower high on the 4-hour. We could have caught this like lower time frame head and shoulders pattern right there. And go down to the 30-minute, where could we have entered on this? I see we had a higher low form here. We had a break of structure, a pullback, no real entry there. And then inevitably, we started to get some breaks of structure like right here. So I would have just had to anticipate some moves, if I was live on this on the lower time frame. But like I said, every single time on the weekly time frame, like this high of a time frame, something happens or I'm anticipating some sort of move, I will go back in time and I will see previously, in a similar situation, what happened. I'll break down this situation. I'll break down this one. I'll break down this one. So that way I'm prepared for whatever's going to happen, because inevitably this is going to react similar, based on what happened in the past. So right now, the daily time frame, we are all the way up, at this zone, obviously below the trend line on the weekly, below this resistance level. And what is happening? We had a lot of bearish pressure come in. We had some sellers come in here, sellers come in here. I was looking for shorts. But I was protecting myself, as best as I could. Looking at this 4-hour time frame, this is really why I started to take shorts. I saw we had this high form, this higher low, this double top, but then we broke structure here, came back, formed this lower high, was taking shorts all up in this area. We were in a short actually right here, down here. We had stops at break even. Then this happened. We pulled all the way back, retested this lower high right there. Again, we were looking for shorts. As soon as it started to break, looking for shorts here, all in this area, looking for shorts. We were in a short all the way down to this area. We were trying to get that break. If this thing broke, we would have went flying. And then same thing just happened. We pulled back. Now we're back at this lower high area. I'm still looking for shorts. This is testing now. Last 4-hour candle closed the doji. We need this following candle to close very similar to this. We need this to happen right now to continue to be short sellers. We need this to happen. We need price to close back into this zone, and then we'll look for short opportunities as we head lower. So if this breaks, if this does not happen, all I'll do is bump up to the daily, and I'll say, okay, where's the next daily target? Daily target is up here, this level of resistance. Once price comes up into this area, which is about 50 pips away, then I will look for very aggressive 1-hour moves, very similar to this area. When it previously came up there, I'll be on the 1-hour or even all the way on the 30-minute, and I'll look and say, where is structure? Got structure right here. All of a sudden you have break, retest, we have this entry, get into some profits, there, about 2 to 1. So again, it's very situational. We're gonna obviously go over this on the live sessions. I'll be following this very, very closely. So at the moment with NZD USD, we are just waiting for the next 4-hour candle. Next 4-hour candle, we're waiting for that to close. So I'm gonna keep that red. Let's go now to UJ. Let me just plug my computer in. Boom. So let's now do UJ. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. And I was also talking about, I didn't go over this much in this session, but the monthly candle just closed on basically all pairs. You know what I'm saying? Monthly candle just closed July 2nd. So we should actually be looking at that monthly candle. How did that form? What is going on with that? Look at this on UJ, monthly candle, huge doji, signs of reversal, but we are still maintaining red over blue below this. So, obviously we're still in a seller's market. As I come down to the weekly time frame, we can look at structure. We had this low break, made this lower low, pulled back, made this lower high right here. I'm going to cover gold briefly. I don't know where Nick is at right now. I'm going to actually give Nick a call. Yeah, I don't know where Nick's at, but he normally covers gold. So I can do like a quick breakdown. I'll do, because we're going to have some time. So what pair that I didn't cover, because I'm going to cover GJ next. What pair did I not cover that you guys want me to do? Like, I can do like a full breakdown on. Yeah. You're hopping on this session or what? Yeah. Yeah, it's like 9:30. I'm just on right now, but I'm about to be done with my pairs. So just hop on. We got Euro, NZD, EU, AU, GJ. Yeah, I'm about to cover GJ. Nick's actually about to hop on too, which is good. So he's gonna run through all his pairs as well. So again, UJ monthly time frame. You know, looking at this, GU. Yeah, we went over GU. Let's come down to the daily time frame. Let's get down to structure. We have this pullback. Then we have this cross right here. This is structure for me. Then we made this new low, pulled back to retest structure again. I can't reiterate this enough, guys. When basically, I can't reiterate this enough. When we form new lows within these daily fibs, we are going to continue to trend. Like, we're going to continue to form structure at these higher levels. Okay, we're not going to shoot from 100 to negative 27. So when you guys are holding trades, you need to keep this in mind, because as things start to pull back, don't get discouraged. Like, obviously, make sure you're maintaining your orders with some rules, but don't get discouraged, because the market needs to form lower lows and lower highs, at least in this downtrend. In this instance, you know, this needs to happen. There needs to be momentum, selling momentum. Then the buyers need to step in and go to a price where sellers then want to come back in at that order. Like, they want to come in at that price again. So, you know, the key, at least for us, is you got to be able to identify structure one way or another. I'm obviously using the moving averages to identify structure. It works quite well for me, and also the logic behind it, in my opinion, is just kind of sound. So right now on UJ, we had, again, this lower high form. We had this level retested, and then now we're getting some sort of pullback right now. As I go down to the 4 hour, this is kind of how I was breaking this down. We had this monthly or weekly level, key level of support, which is where we were finding all these buyers from. Again, overall, we are bearish, but at this point, what am I thinking in my head? Where's the next daily level of resistance that we could potentially find some sort of, or like is some sort of key level? I got the 200-day here, and then I've got this resistance zone up here. So I could potentially place some buys into those higher time frame levels. On the 4 hour, we've got break of structure. We very clear trend line break, you know, retest. We've got this line broke. Now what are we waiting for? We're waiting for our first lower or higher low. So as I come on here and just fib this, boom, low to high. What are we waiting for? Waiting for some sort of retest. Now we're kind of getting that huge bullish engulfing in that area right there. Down to the 30-minute. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a lower time frame break of structure, which is right here. We had this higher low form right there, pulled back, or lower high here. So what am I looking for now, guys? I'm looking for pullback, bullish engulfing, and then we could have a nice little entry there. So we got perfect timing. We got Nick joining up. Nick is live. I'm just
finishing. Everybody, how we doing?
I'm just finishing up. I still got GJ actually.
Yep, go for it.
So again, you know, looking for a potential entry on UJ. So I'm just going to move this one up. I'll post this one in premium analysis. This one and USEF is definitely the most ready right now. Let's go over to GJ, last but not least. Again, yesterday we covered that GJ needed to break this level. Now, totally different situation on this time frame. Weekly time frame, overall, very bearish. You know, now we're coming up to retest this weekly level of resistance. As I come down to this daily time frame, what the hell is going on here? we had this bearish trend, which actually broke structure right here to make this high. But I was looking at the 4 hour time frame. This is kind of where I was basing that move on, and things have definitely changed. So the 4 hour, you could take this. Always try to clear up your charts, guys. Try to make them as clean as possible. 4 hour just broke structure. So let's be aware of what's going on. Daily time frame bullish, 4 hour time frame now is bullish, and then obviously this means the 1 hour time frame is bullish. So where is our next opportunity to enter? We need some sort of pullback. Don't enter at highs, guys. Don't enter at the high, because then this thing could fucking retrace on you all the way down to here. So we need something similar to this to happen. We need a pullback, moving average cross, entry would be right there. This candle, right when it crosses, stops would be below here, target up here, then we're at least at 1-to-1 now. We can protect ourselves, move our stops to break even, and then we're just trying to continue this trend. So GJ is nowhere near an entry right now, so I'm not going to put anything out on this. We're just going to have to wait on GJ over the course of today, and it's going to be tough because, volume is going to be a little tricky today, and tomorrow is going to be kind of closed off. So yeah, I'm going to pass this over to Nick, and then he's going to get into a lot of these other pairs that you guys want to see.
Did you cover the news?
Yeah.
You did? Unemployment?
Yeah.
You gotta let me share too.
Let's see. We got this.
All right, guys. So just to reiterate, some news came out this morning. NFP, positive. Unemployment, positive as well. Pretty good stuff. All right, so let's go over to DXY, do a quick recap. I'm sure Angelo covered it for you. We are still ranging, for the most part, between these two levels. We really need to see something, kind of break out of this range for us to get a better idea of, where this is going to go, especially on this time frame. To the upside, we want to see a break of 97.7, right? Nice higher low, break, higher low, continuation upwards. Or we want to see a break of 96.5. Now, that's obviously the low end. That would just, continue with the bearish movement that we're seeing on this 4 hour time frame. But as things start to develop too, especially with Corona and the second wave, and how all these states kind of handle things individually, we'll start to see either more bearish movement or more bullish movement. But things are definitely not looking too great from a fundamental perspective for DXY. But I mean, we'll see in the next few weeks how things kind of play out. From it, all we can do right now is just analyze from a technical analysis perspective. And right now we're kind of a little more bearish than anything else. We're transitioning on this. This is more of like a 1 hour transition here, breaking this little minor level around 97.3, heading towards the downside. Definitely looking like the bears are more present than the bulls here. So looking to get down towards 96.5. And let's go ahead and hop over to AU. So go to the daily time frame. Super bearish still, nothing's really changed. This is a lower high at the monthly before the Corona news hit, came all the way back up, retesting that prior lower high. Looking pretty good right now, so we can drop to a 4 hour. We've definitely identified sentiment as bearish more than anything else. Let's go down right 4 hour time frame. More or less kind of going sideways here. We do have some higher lows here, so this is pretty much a giant ascending triangle. This is the resistance here at 0.6965. Getting some higher lows, kind of squeezing price action. Then you have like this kind of median level, 0.69, which we're waiting for a break of, and we actually put an entry out on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the 1 hour for a second. This was an entry put out in our community. I actually was up pretty late last night stalking this. I think I entered around like 1 a.m. And, obviously it's a little before, NFP, but the trade was there. I entered on this little variation here. I saw this nice bullish engulfing, good rejection off of this 0.691 handle right here, 1-1. And then I kind of just saw it kind of, inching up. So I put an entry out on that, protecting ourselves outside the support, 0.69, 200 EMA, the other regular MAs. And yeah, it was looking pretty good. I mean, the momentum is definitely present. We're just waiting for some conviction candles to, continue to the upside. I definitely still have, a lot of confidence in this trade, especially if you look at the 4 hour here. higher low after higher low after higher low. Just waiting for that kind of kick in volume like we've seen a bunch of times to the left. Just waiting for something like that. Kind of pushes up towards 0.6965 first. And then, ultimately much higher towards our monthly zone around 0.705. Actually, it's this level right here, 0.7059. All right, so it's definitely looking more bullish than anything else. It was a pretty easy entry. We're just waiting for, kind of to, kick off and volume to step into the market at this point. But yeah, other than that, looking pretty good. So that's AU. Let's move on to AJ. All right, yeah, this one's just kind of surged like crazy. Let's go to the daily for a second. It's still very bearish, right? Just like AU, here's a prior lower high. Corona news came back, testing the prior lower high at this monthly zone, right around 76 flat. Let's drop to the 4-hour. We've identified sentiment, definitely bearish more than anything else. But, again, just like AU, we had a big reversal from the monthly, followed by consolidation. We're getting these higher lows, breaks of these minor resistance levels, and price action just kind of inching up. So here's something interesting. Let me just go ahead and expand this, kind of correct some of this zone here. All right, so now we're at a pretty interesting level. We have some higher lows here. We definitely have a strong 1-hour trend, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and so on and so on. Good volume. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. So once price action was right here, this was a pretty decent trade idea. We wanted to see, another, drop, another higher low, kind of hitting this trend line. It came really close and then gave us, some nice bullish engulfings going through the MAs here and then continuing higher. No real great, entry as far as risk reward goes. Like even if you entered right here, what would you target? 74.65. Stop loss would be kind of skewed. It doesn't really make. It's not the two risk reward, 2-to-1 risk reward that we're looking for. So that just wasn't the best trade opportunity. We wanted to see more of a pullback, something like this original trade that we took over here. Break, retest, got in on this, MA cross through these bullish variation, and then played it all the way up to the 74.65 handle. So for right now, we honestly want to see this zone break. We can definitely enter on this if we see a significant closure above, pullback, enter on a higher low, and then we're long. That's what we want to see, essentially. As of right now, it's at a crucial level. We got to kind of see how price action plays out. Is it going to reverse? Is it going to continue? If it continues, we're definitely looking for this main setup here, right? We're into a whole new range at that point. So we're definitely looking to break this 74.65 handle. Okay, just like that. And you guys obviously know, what happens if we get rejection. So let's go ahead back down to the 1-hour, kind of highlight what happens. Get rid of these fibs, clean this up, extend this supporting trend line. Highlight a zone. I'm going to highlight this zone right here. Why am I highlighting this zone? Because there's a lot of, this is an area where there's been a lot of reaction. It's a minor zone, and it would also be a zone where if it were to break, I would consider the start of a transition. So by that, I mean, I'm looking for a potential, the other scenario. So I'm looking for the, short scenario here. What needs to happen for me to consider shorts? Needs to reject from this resistance level right here at 74.65. Give us a double top. Break this level, retest outside this trend line, confirm lower high, strong bearish setups, and then we're going lower, targeting much lower. Down towards this area first, right? We're just playing it towards the major support levels, and so on and so on. So does this make any sense? Let's go to the 4-hour. Yes, it does. So if we get rejection here, it's like literally just playing back into this range. First target would be 73.8. Then if that breaks all the way down towards the 72.6 area, which is the bottom of this range. So very likely, that's the good thing about playing ranges is you kind of, it gives you the TPs. It's very clear. It's very easy to see where you're going. You're just playing it towards the major support levels within that range. So this is AJ. Okay, either waiting for a break or a rejection. Next, we got EU. This one actually looks like it's on the way up. Give me 1 second, guys. Just gotta find a tissue. All right, so guys, EU here, looking very interesting. Let's go to the daily real quick. Yeah, this thing is definitely going to go up, and I'll show you why in a second. So real quick, daily time frame, super bearish, right? We've established sentiment. We did get a break of this descending channel right here on this strong rally, post-corona news and consolidation. So this thing kind of took off. Let's drop to the 4 hour. All right, so 4 hour is no doubt bullish as hell. Okay, so we had this huge rally here. Also could be considered a flagpole if you guys can recognize this pattern. Flag pattern, bullish flag. This is a huge volume one, so this is not the norm, but this is just a crazy example. All right, huge flagpole, huge flag, high volume flag, looking like we're getting a break. So what you always want to see is a break of the pattern, quick retest, confirmed higher low, especially in this bullish continuation of this bullish flag. You want to get a higher low in this area. Then you enter target higher based on bullish setups. So right now we're getting, it looks like a 1 hour transition in here. We're getting a break of this minor structure level 1.124. We're getting a little push higher outside the pattern. We're erasing this lower high. This is a good sign. So what we need to see right now is essentially, I want to see a little more consolidation, maybe one more pullback, maybe in line with this one, some sort of pullback outside this pattern that we could then enter on. I need to see something happen here. So let's go to the 1 hour for a second. It needs to show me something for us to really gain a lot of confidence in this. I mean, this is looking pretty good so far. Look, so this is nice. This is a good sign. Let me get the fib. We'll go from the low to the high. Didn't hit structure. Good. So we're all the way up here. Very good. Very good. So what's happening now is we're getting, see this price action pull back through the MAs. This is what we want. We want price action to pull back through the MAs, kind of settle for a second, and then step in with huge bullish volume, crossing back through the MAs, bullish setups off of a confluence area. This is what we want to see. And then we're entering long. This looks like a pretty big zone actually right here. There's 38.2. Let me get rid of this for a second. Yeah, so this 38.2 is actually a pretty nice area. Good wick. We're going to see in the next few hours how this plays out, to be totally honest. So, if this forms, a doji with this long wick on the bottom, and then we get a morning star. If this pattern forms, this little setup here forms a morning star, then closes above these MAs, that could potentially be an entry, right? And then again, I'll highlight that. I'll put that out in the premium analysis for you guys to review. But yeah, this is looking pretty damn good so far. Go to the 4 hour again. Double check your work always. All right, cool. Yeah, this makes sense. Continuation. It's a flag pattern, right? Definitely looking to play towards the 1.135 area first as a first target, which again is about 85 pips away, and then potentially even higher. So rule of thumb, guys, rule of thumb for patterns, especially flag pattern, is they always tell you when it breaks, then you enter target height of the pattern. So just to apply that rule, let's get a general idea of what we're looking at. 230 pips roughly. So from the top, yeah, about 250 pips, so on. So let's say we get the break right here. 250 pips finds us right in our monthly zone, right near 1.15. So this makes a lot of sense from that as well. There's just a lot of things coming together that kind of give us confidence in this trade. It's looking pretty textbook. And yeah, again, I'll update you guys as this kind of plays out, okay? So that is EU. Let's move on to EJ and gold. All right, so daily time frame, right, here we are. Super bearish. If we just zoom out for a second, very, very bearish, strong volume, strong bearish channel. And then we did get a break over here. Large bullish rally. But, we didn't break this 123.4 handle. So we're still, we're still within this range, even though it's a gigantic range between 123.4 and 116.5. We saw rejection. It didn't break this handle. Although we kind of we need to see that it either breaks it or rejects it. So let's zoom into the 4 hour and see what price action is doing more currently. All right, so this one it's similar to EU, but it's not exact. So like this would be the flagpole on EU. This would be the flag pattern. Yeah, it's a little more sloppy than EU, but that's okay. We still are very much in this like 1 hour bullish trend here. Getting these higher lows, breaks to resistance, higher highs on this still time frame. Excuse me. So right now, currently we're finding ourselves stuck in this range. We're between 121.5 and support here is 120.5. This would have been a really great trade if I right after this push, this bullish engulfing, I wanted to see a nice pullback. Nice because wanted to see a nice pullback to this zone right here, and then we could have entered long. Kind of missed that opportunity. Didn't give us the pullback we wanted. This thing literally just kind of surged up after that. So let's zoom in. Yeah, so after this engulfing, this thing just kind of pushed. Yeah, I guess you could have entered here on this engulfing, right, as it almost came back and tested the support at 120.7. But again, we were looking for a more conservative entry. I wanted to see more or less 61.8 hit, a pretty deep pullback. This is a big area of confluence, supporting trend line, structure at 120.5. This, 200 EMA is there, 61.8 fibs. So this, I just wanted to see more of a pullback. But yeah, I mean, the sentiment was right. It definitely surged higher. So from this area, again, we're either looking for a break or a rejection. So this is what the break would look like for us to then enter on. Significant break of 121.5. Quick retest for a higher low. Entering on bullish setups. All right, let me go to the 4 hour, double check the target. All right, so this could go, this could go quite a ways. Negative 27 for your first target, negative 21 is your second. Looking pretty interesting because, this steps into a whole new area now if we get above 121.5. So that's the, upside. This is the breakout, retest, long opportunity versus, massive rejection from 121.5. Looking for a lower time frame transition. What I mean by that is, break of minor support right in this area, quick retest, enter on a lower high, even like on a 1 hour or 30-minute. We're just looking for any sort of transition, rejection followed by, something like this. So see how price action is kind of stalling. You get a nice bearish engulfing, and then, it's a huge bearish variation, plays it all the way down to 120.5. Something like that could happen, and then we could just see this range kind of, have another leg to the downside for now. Okay, so that's EJ. Looking for a break, retest, higher low, enter, or a rejection, transition, entering on a lower high, bearish setups, targeting lower. Finally, onto gold. Look at this damn thing. Oh, shit. Wow, that's a big whipsaw. All right. Zooming out, super bullish, very, very bullish, looking to get up to 1,800, as we've been saying so many times. Let's go to the 4 hour for a second. Did this thing, give me 1 second, guys. Oh, it didn't stop me out. I'm actually long on gold right now, guys, and it didn't stop me out. Wow, that was close. It came within a couple pips of my stop loss. All right, so good. I'm gonna be able to walk through this one, walk you guys through this one. Why I entered it. Okay, so again, we're bullish, right? On the daily, drop to the 4 hour. I entered right in this area. First let's just cover what we saw. We saw this consolidation break, transition over here. After rejection of this monthly, price action is moving up. We got the symmetrical triangle. We saw a nice break, tons of confluence in this area. Hint again a continuation. Volume stepped in, pushed price action higher through this resistance, then established support, and has kind of just held this little 4 hour trend right here. You guys can see higher low after higher low, higher high after higher high. So this is looking pretty good so far. Right now, I'm going to assume this wick is definitely more, speculative driven. Because that's a huge wick, definitely news related, definitely some sort of, reaction from the market here. But we're still holding very strongly at this level. So this is a pretty strong level right now. Where is my price label? Right around 167. So call it 167.5. This zone held very well, and now it's looking like it's going to continue with a good amount of volume. I actually entered. Where was it? I think I entered on this pullback. Yeah, I entered on this pullback, and I entered on a lower time frame, candle in here. There's like a lower time frame engulfing or something in here. Might have been a little premature. I would have liked to. A better entry definitely would have been on this engulfing, let's say. As it closes like above the MAs, something like that. But right now, I mean, this was more or less a confidence trade on my end because we are so high in the trend. This is not, it didn't really pull back and form structure. I was just entering on price action. But this is definitely going to continue up to 1800, in my opinion, and potentially even higher. So let's go over potential entries for you guys. Either massive rejection, and then you would only short if you saw this transition like this. You want to enter on a lower high only with strong bearish setups at a key level, which would be 1767 right here. So then this is what you would do. You wait for this transition. Break of support, test of resistance, lower high, entering on bearish setups. Okay, that would be the entry to go short. To go long here, I mean, you could enter just on price action if you see some lower time frame engulfings, bullish variations, something like that. Based on this level alone, if you just take a trade off this level, if you do see those confirmations, you could. Again, you always want to, stick to the rules, wait for fib structure to form, and so on, because it just increases your, the probability of the trade. But more long term, we want to see a break of 1800, good retest, form structure.
All right, I gotta hop off, but
Yep,
I'm gonna share
we're
my
entering on a.
really quickly because for everyone that's still on the call, we are gonna do a free trial for signals. So if you guys want to get in on signals, we're gonna do a 7-day free trial. So after the 7 days, you're obviously gonna get billed. Everything that's included is gonna be, the signals chat, fundamental updates, 35 plus page trading plan, and then the live sessions. So if you guys are interested and want to get in on the free trial, this is going to be, we're only going to let in a certain amount of spots, and I'm going to post more details in the chat as well. So this is kind of the first day that we're announcing this. And yeah, so if you guys want in on the trial, then just shoot me a message after this chat. So I'm going to hop off here. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. And as always, on Sunday, we will do the Sunday Market Blitz again. This is not going to be a one-time fee. This is for the recurring. If you guys are interested in the one-time fee, we're going to announce that as well soon. We're thinking about bringing that one back. But if you guys want to try the free trial again, just message me after this, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and then you could share again. Boom.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up with gold here. Let me do a quick recap. All right, so yeah, we're just looking for this long-term play. What's going to happen with gold in the short term? We could see a break of 1800. If we do see a break of 1800, we'll be stalking the hell out of this, waiting for a clean break, come back, form structure, also test this 1800 zone, and, enter on some sort of, higher low. This is looking pretty good so far. Again, we're going to post all these in the premium analysis section right after this as they're relevant. Look, this thing's skyrocketing now, starting to really take off. All right, so the quick recap to DXY. Let's go to the 4 hour for a second. DXY, AU, AJ, EU, and EJ, and gold. All right. Yeah, this is looking like it's about to pull back, EJ. We're just going to wait for this transition to present itself like we talked about. All right, guys, so those are all the pairs that we've kind of prepared. And, yeah, keep an eye out in the Discord. We'll be posting some of these analyses right away for you guys. And, yeah, get active, guys. Share some charts. It's the end of the week, so, it should be kind of light. But, yeah, definitely just get involved, guys. Share some charts, have some of the other members critique it. And, yeah. So, again, guys, thank you guys for joining the Sunday Market Blitz. The live trading session. Final one for the week, and we will see you next on the Sunday Market Blitz. And enjoy the rest of the week. Awesome. Yep, no problem, guys. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Happy trading. No problem, Daniel.